Hi guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did an 18 by 24 inch canyon waterfall with gorgeous flowers, a ginormous mountain, and humongous trees. I know you're excited to paint this one. Check the description down below, find all the colors you need, make sure you get your canvas nice and wet, get ready to throw some paint on, let's do it just like this. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Paint with Josh. We're back in the studio and we've got a nice dry canvas. You can see I've already prepped it with our black Liquitex gesso. Kind of created this little shape, used some old acrylic fan brushes to make what we got, and then what I'm going to do is show you how to cover it and do everything in the middle of doing a live show. So I think we got about 1 minute left until the live show starts. I'll hit those cameras, I'll clip everything together, and then we'll just rock and roll like it never happened, right? Love you guys. Paint with Josh into my brain. Bob Ross Liquid Clear, by the way. I'll put that up here. In your bed, you were dreaming, but you should have painted with him instead. Paint with Josh before you go, cause he's not planning on painting solo. I wrote and sang the lyrics for this song. Paint with Josh before you go, cause he's not planning on painting solo. Before you go, I take me painting tonight. Think I can hit that high note? Here we go, one more time. I want to paint that sky. It's close. It was close. It was close. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Saturday night. Saturday. We're gonna need to make a song for that Elton John song. Saturday night's all right for painting, if you ask me. Welcome everybody to the show. It's gonna be awesome. You guys are in luck because right now I'm filming a tutorial. So this painting will be on YouTube. You'll be able to rewatch it coming out next week or sometime in the near future when I get the chance to do it. So you guys gotta tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And I'll show you exactly what we've done right over here. We took our Bob Ross Liquid Clear, made our entire black section wet. It's gotta be nice and wet and slick. Right? That way our paints will slide all over the place. Now, we'll come up here, we're gonna wipe off all this excess clear paint. We don't need all that stuff, right? You put it on, and no matter if you're Bob Ross or Paint with Josh or just barely starting out, you're gonna put on too much. That's why we wipe off the excess. Now we're gonna come back in here and grab our Bob Ross Liquid White, which is a liquidy, wet, milky, this jar. There's like barely any left in this jar. It's all like sunk to the bottom. Luckily for us, I have a new one, but that's probably just enough to do what we gotta do tonight. So let's see if we can get some of that into the white area of our canvas. Now I've gone and cleaned off my brush, nice and dry, right? Mostly, it doesn't need to be perfectly dry, but we cleaned it off, and now I'm gonna dab into my little lid, right? We'll take our lid just like this. It's got that Bob Ross Liquid White that we just put in there. You don't wanna have too much because we don't need a whole lot to cover up this space, right? There's only a small area that we need to cover and make it just as wet as the clear paint beneath it, right? And that's the most vital part. If you don't do this part and you forget, you just try to do it on a dry canvas, oh boy, you're not gonna be happy with it, let me tell you that. So we rub it in, we scrub it into all of these parts of our canvas, even the sides, because this is a big old thick Pro Series canvas. You guys know the big, thick, expensive ones. And I like to cover the edges of my canvas. So watch as we go across that black gesso that we put on already, right? It just kind of dulls it down, pushes it a little further off in the distance. How much white do you want to cover over your trees? How far away do you want to play them? It's a real cool little game we can play with this gesso stuff. Just letting it do it on its own. We don't really have to do much. Thank you for the gifts over there on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. All right, now let's go over here, wash off this old brush, come back, and then just like that, Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, all of yous. Right now we've got a wet canvas across our whole smash, okay? The top is wet on all different places. It's about the same amount of wetness across the whole thing. The bottom is all wet. And now let's get into a blue sky. Oh, I wanted to paint a blue sky since I've come back. Just a pretty blue sky. So we're gonna take our Prussian blue and just getting the corner of the bristles into the brush and then pulling them down like that, right? Not the whole brush into the thick stuff. Just pulling it down. And that way we can have this gorgeous little evenly spread bit of paint. We'll start bringing it down. Now, because we have our Bob Ross liquid white onto the canvas, it's going to allow our thick paints to blend so much easier and drag down across all this stuff. It's just fantastic. And that's why I said 100% vital to the technique. If you don't have this stuff, boy, oh boy, you're going to be, well, in agony city, like Bob always used to say. You'll be in agony city because it doesn't blend and go away on a dry canvas, okay? So all we're doing, dragging in our paint, gonna let it get lighter and lighter and lighter as it gets down here. We don't need to push so hard, just kind of letting the brush flick it. Just very lightly grazing it and grazing it and grazing it so we don't get too much of our color into one spot. You can even see all those brush lines and bristles because this brush is so beat to death. We don't need it to be everywhere. We don't want it to over cover all of our black area. That's not what we're trying to do. Just trying to very lightly drop some of it in. Leave a big old white section for some clouds. Why not, right? Now, you can see all these streaky poos up here. These, with this amount of paint on the brush, are only gonna grow and get bigger. So let's wash the brush off, and then we'll come back and start to blend out that sky all crazily like, right? Now we'll come over here, we'll go over there, here, there, and everywhere. Dab off our brush so it's nice and clean. Now, I always say we're gonna start in our lightest area, and that's obviously this white spot, but then we're gonna go down into this light section before we go up into the darkness. And then we might have to go back and blend it 2 or 3 times in order to get it to look how we want it to look, right? All up to you guys. We're gonna come in here, start blending it with some of that white that's on the canvas already. And see how we're picking up the white on the brush. We come out and around on the edges, just the edges, kind of. And sometimes I was showing the classmates, my little classmates, my students, you can kind of blend it with little circles around the edges, just so you're not dragging too much of it into the center, right? That's all we need. Now, as we get out here, we're gonna start pushing harder on the brush, blending it more. The more we crisscross or figure eight those colors, and those little stripes will go away because we're blending them in, right? The girls know how to do it because they do the makeup all the time. Boys don't know how to blend, okay? We just don't. So guys, you got to do like figure eights or like crisscross it this way and crisscross it that way in order to make those little lines go away. And the softer we do it, right? Initially it's hard pressure and then soft pressure, guys, okay? Girls, you guys already know how to blend. You do it every morning, right? But the guys, we don't know. So we need our extra, we need our extra instructions. Okay, the more I push on this paint, the further and further it's gonna drag across the side, blending and blending and blending, getting softer because it's mixing, guys. That's what blending is, guys. Not talking to the girls. The girls already know. Guys, mixing together things, right? That's what blending is. So we're taking the white paint and mixing it with the blue paint, and we're crisscrossing it so much that it's all going to mix together, right? Taking away all those little streaks. So we still have some up here. We can keep mixing and keep blending and keep doing and keep smushing and mushing and rocking. You can even go right over your white part, right? Right over there. Doesn't matter. It's going to stay brighter than the excess of our sky, okay? Now, as we all know, we get a very light part down, a bright area down around the horizon, and it gets darker and darker and darker as it goes up into our sky. So let's get a little bit more of our color. Maybe a little bit of our black, our Bob Ross black, which is not the blackest black that you can get. And that's lucky for us. We don't need it to be too dark, right? We just want to drop on a little bit of that color. And then again, we need to go blend it out, or mix it together, guys, right? But we can't do it with so much paint on the brush. That's gonna just keep spreading our darkness all around our whole canvas. So let's go wash it off. Right? Flick it into a can, beat the devil out of it. Boom!